Hi, Sue. Again,
Hi.
we will start off with Tina's budget for the year.
Well, actually, everybody should have, I sent that as soon as it was forwarded, the rough draft. So you should have that budget summary worksheet and all the backup to it. Okay, in regards to the proposed increases on some of the line items. Sue could talk a little bit more about that. Of what we can expect. Several items did go up quite a bit, of course. But Sue can let you know exactly the percentages on those that we had to anticipate. So Sue, you want to
Certainly.
just briefly
Sure.
just run through how we pretty much kept it as pretty similar, plugged
Okay.
in the new numbers and
Yes.
just updated it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we did receive an extra increase in our subsidy for this coming year. The amount adds up to $57,813. But
Yay.
unfortunately, because our reserves are so low, as of December, they were 2.98%. We cannot present a budget to EOHLC without the reserve being 35%. So this money, basically, this extra money, we couldn't totally utilize for expenses. And that's why our budget pretty much, let's get back up here, pretty much doesn't change except for the things that are, we know change. The one other good thing though this year is in the past, we do get savings from our solar, and we were allowed to keep 50% of that savings. And this coming year, we'll be able to keep 100%. So that is a little bit of a boost to our income. So if you looked at the top end of other income, we're predicting about $19,000 more in other income, which is due to that the solar savings. The salaries were, the executive director's salary schedule went up very slightly, under 2% actually. And let me just check something. And the other, we were allowed to give a 7% increase to the other staff, which we did, and that amounted to an addition of $4,450. I did bump up legal. We're spending an awful lot in legal because, the tenant accounts receivable balances are very high. And Tina was trying to take care of that, so it's costing us legal. We do get $4,000 from the state for that, but which is what I'm going to budget again, even though we spent, no, I'm sorry. So I doubled that in this budget, and
1,000.
the accounting fees are going up 5%. I did add some to administrative other. Labor, of course, we added, the part-time position, plus, the two guys get their increases on April 1st. Property insurance has gone up considerably, and employment benefits too. And I put in some collection losses. So we can't cover these expenses on our own. So there's two things. I can put in a budget that we're really not going to be able to meet, to get to the 35%, or I can put in this more realistic, although bare bones budget, and ask for an exemption from the state for them to give us more money to bring our reserves up. And that's what I, in this budget, have planned on doing. I planned on asking for $70,000, which would bring us up to the 35%. And this budget is based on an extra $70,000. Now it could go either way. the state could approve it or they could not approve it, in which case, you know, if they don't approve it, we're kind of in trouble. We don't have any money for any expenses, any additional expenses. So we're kind of bare bones right here. We've got to be really, really careful on our expenditures. Even if we do get the 70,000, we still have to be really, really careful on our expenses. Because the state, I mean, we won't be able to spend below the 35% because they're giving us money, you know, they would be giving us money to bring that up to that. So they wouldn't look highly on us going below that again, once they gave us money. So you have to be really, really careful in this coming year and not be, you know, not be spending a lot of money on things that maybe you can get mod projects for, or maybe can wait a little bit. You know, you just might have to decide one way or the other what to do. Do anybody have any questions or want me to explain anything further?
I have questions.
Yeah, what are you in a second? What does the one have to do with the other? I can't remember what it is now.
One,
All right.
one.
With one other. Go ahead. You go and shoot first and I'll ask questions later.
Why is administrative other up by 5,300?
Based on what we spent last year.
Can't we keep it down this year?
Yes, if we truly can.
Isn't that hard to say? Because, for instance, we're about to put our job search,
Right, so you're gonna have
and
the
administrative other,
advertising.
like some stuff we just can't see coming, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What drove it? I just want more information. Because on that basis, everything should be increased.
Well, that's what I had said. Didn't I read somewhere that the state is going to give us money to get us up, everybody, like a level funding thing all across the state? Or is that
No.
not, that, okay.
No.
Did I miss?
They redid their PUMs, which is a per unit amount to calculate the subsidy. That hasn't been looked at with the state for, you know, 30, 40 years. But they did do that. And that's why instead of the, like maybe 4% increase, we actually did get, you know, the $57,000, which was, it's about 9%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, I think. And but
Yes,
it's still
that's-
not enough.
It's not enough for Great Barrington Housing Authority, no.
It's still not enough. And I thought that we were at 2.5, no, I thought we were at over 10%, not over 30%, but over 10%. Have we slipped that dramatically in, a month or two?
You've been running all year at this lower percentage, so I don't know where you're seeing that.
Yeah, we spending it.
We
Yeah.
actually ended last fiscal year at a negative reserve. That's our that was our problem.
Yeah.
And we've been, hovering a little bit above in a positive right now, but all year, but it's not getting any better.
And what I thought of was the legal and that was the thing I had a question about is how are we going to manage that? That is a real knotty problem for us. And we seem to overspend it and hope, but it doesn't seem to be working. Is there something we can do?
I have no suggestion with that. You have certain legal costs. You don't have you don't have a choice. If they've got people that don't pay, you have to bring them to court.
Yeah, and that's
The state only gives what they give. So if this is the same with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's, legal fees are off the roof and this is all that they're giving. So maybe, you know, people contacting the state and saying, hey, this isn't enough. I don't know the solution.
Is everybody in that same boat or close to
Yes,
that
legal
boat?
fees are very, very high this year because tenants' accounts receivable balances are very high. Due to
Yeah.
COVID and the whole thing that happened with
Oh, that's
COVID,
the,
and
right, that's the, yeah.
people weren't paying and then they decided they just still didn't want to pay. So yeah, people are, you know, cracking down on these balances now, authorities are, and it's costing a lot in legal fees. But this is all the state is willing to do.
My ask a question, if I get this right. Sue, were you saying that in the first part of your discussion, you were saying the state was offering us, the good news, they were offering us $57,000 increase,
Yes,
but that was only that was assuming that we were at the required reserve level.
that's correct.
So then you're saying that to get back to the correct reserve level, we need about 70 odd thousand. Is that correct?
In addition,
In addition,
With this budget.
Okay.
So,
in
I mean,
addition to the
I
57,
could
is that
totally, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, is that in addition to the 57?
is that in addition to the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
57,000?
No, the
Yeah,
subsidy earned, yes, the subsidy earned includes that $56,000. Unfortunately, we can't spend that $56,000. It's got to go to the
Right.
reserves. And if I put in a
Okay,
budget that's like this with the additional increases, then yes, we need an extra $70,000 to get up to that 35%.
Okay, so to try to put it into sort of English language, we need 125,000 roughly to get back to sort of a fully reserved position according to DHCD. And
With this budget, yes, with this budget, because
they're offering 57, and you're proposing that we go back and ask for the other 70 or so.
yeah, I think you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yes,
That's my
yes, I
understanding.
think.
All right,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're gonna vote to, you know, hopefully, approve this with that additional, you know, pending approval by DHCD for that additional $70,000. That's Sue's.
right, so if we don't get that, I'm gonna have to slash the budget considerably, because I put the budget in based on last year's expenses and what we anticipate the expenses to be, and that's why we needed the $70,000.
Should we try to show HLC that we are contributing by not increasing items in the budget? Even if we anticipate that it will be needed?
I
Why
can
would we do that?
either way, but then you'll have a budget that's not adequate.
And you won't
Yeah,
ever
and you
balance
won't-
out the reserves. The point is to balance out the reserves
Right.
at some point. And if we're gonna anticipate increased costs due to expenses increasing, then, you know, the goal is to hopefully, you know, offset it. So,
I see what you're saying, Eileen. I think
Yeah.
it's
To show that we're.
it's reasonable, but I don't think that's how it works.
I mean, worst case scenario, that's gonna happen because they're gonna come back and they're gonna tell us to slash.
Yeah,
So we might as well, the way I see it is if we have the option to at least beg right now, Sue, to go ahead and beg for that $70,000.
yeah.
Worth a
Anybody
try,
else?
and it would help the agency immensely. Right now,
Yeah.
we're in tough shape.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't, any alternatives, do you?
I think this
Yeah.
would be great if they actually approve it. I mean, it would help balance out the reserve.
I mean, are we going to be early into the game or are we late to the game?
So if we get this in and I get the, you know, certification sheets in with this approval, do you think they'd get back to us, to still maybe review this in, March meeting?
Yeah.
don't know, right?
No, I
We
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
able to answer that question, and they don't
We
do
don't
anything
know. We don't,
quick.
that we're at their mercy at that point, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Does that help answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, just one last thing, in the world that I know, if we're essentially asking our, our overlord for $125,000 for a budgetary shortfall, they would then ask us for a itemization of why we need the 125. Is
No,
that already embedded in what we've given them so far, in
Yes.
your opinion?
yes. We're not asking them, we get the 50,000 automatically. The increase in the annual, increase in the subsidy. Everyone's getting that this year in fiscal year 24. So, well, this is 25, but everyone gets that. So we're not asking for the 50,000. We're just asking for the other, the 60,000, or did I say 70? I'm sorry.
70.
70, thank you.
Yeah.
We're just asking for an additional $70,000. We're getting the
Huh.
50.
So what do we, what's your pleasure here, kids? Do we motion to accept the budget? Motion to amend the, but what do you want to do?
Could I ask another question?
Sure.
Okay. Salaries, administrative salaries have gone up. I think it was last year or the year before. There was an increase in salaries for another person in the office, which we approved in the proposed budget. That was interpreted as meaning that we had approved the hiring of somebody, which I don't think had been the intent. So that, I just want to make sure that the increase in the salary, administrative salary, is not indicating that we are approving additional staff. We are just approving.
If you look at the pages in the budget, you'll see that there isn't additional staff listed there. We have the director, the administrative assistant, and the clerk.
There are two clerks.
On page
There's an
So there's
admin
two.
assistant and a clerk.
Okay, all right, I didn't hear the word assistant.
Yeah.
All right,
You good?
Yeah.
All right, so then I make a motion that we accept the budget as proposed by Susan and Tina.
and agree to ask.
Oh, I think that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, Bill
Aye.
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 and I, so
Um,
that's,
Sue, right before you take off,
Yeah.
anybody have any quick questions? I mean, we were already talking about the reserve, on the current balance sheets that we sent you for December, but does anybody have any specific questions while Sue is here? Get ready to go.
Mhm.
Now's the time.
Why aren't we getting the list of accounts to which bills are credited?
Is that a question for Sue though?
Are you talking about the backup, the back sheet?
But I don't know what you mean by that sheet. Tell me.
My revolving fund list, you mean?
Yeah, Sue, you know how you
Yeah,
have the
did I,
color.
did I, didn't I
I
not
think
said
you
that?
forgot to send it this month.
Yeah,
That's
I
what.
forgot. I
think-
apologize.
Yep, I think that's what she's
Ah.
asking for.
So we are getting, okay,
Hmm.
all right, and we'll have it, what, tomorrow?
Yes, I can send it, yeah.
Thank you.
anything else? Thank you, Sue.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you much.
Take
Take care,
care.
everybody.
Take care. Okay. I'm going to my agenda, but it takes a second here. No, you're continuing with your,
Yes.
yes, so
Oh,
continue.
so go ahead. Okay,
Go ahead.
wonderful. All right.
I
I
still
thought
haven't
you
gotten
wanted me to
enough.
wait on something.
No.
Okay, I did send out an ED cheat sheet. So if you want to refer to that, I'm just gonna just go on a little bit more on some of those notes that I put on there. In regards to, I just want to give you a little update in regards to maintenance. The project down there at Dewey in the community room is coming along very wonderfully. The painting has been complete. The flooring just got installed this week. It looks beautiful. We got some new lighting in there. I did hook up the community Wi-Fi, so that's now going to be available for the residents. And the security cameras are going to be mounted out there as well. So we can finally, monitor that property as well out there for weather conditions. So that's coming along. I just want to let you know. I did meet with Hugh last week, and one of the architect designers out of Pittsfield that he managed to persuade to hopefully take 3 of our projects. And the hope is to hopefully have the scopes available for the Brookside Community Room upgrade. Also the back porch upgrades over there at Brookside, and then the surrounds over here at the Flag Rock Senior location. So hopefully we'll have something to take a look at by June, which is good, because at first they were making me think it wasn't even going to get touched till next year, a couple months ago. So that's good. I was in court this morning again for non-payment. As Sue said, it seems to be the thing. We're all feverishly acting, going after money right now that was owed. I do have a few court arrangement for payments. So hopefully they'll continue to make do on those. I do have a couple cases out for cause that are pending as well.
What
Right.
is the, what is the average hit rate in, specific, just as far as once they sign an agreement, what percentage fulfill that agreement?
Well, most people fulfill a court-ordered agreement because they don't want to be evicted. But you get occasional people that don't meet the agreement. I have one case, in fact, that already had judgment that I told you.
Yes.
That's back in court right now, again, who got denied assistance. So now it's back for another court date again for me to do eviction. So you see the cost of the legal, it's insane, what we have to pay just to fight for in court.
You want me to ask questions now or wait?
I'm going, it would be easier just to go through the report. In regards to vacancies, we are trying to get someone approved for the upstairs unit that we're working on that is nearly complete. We did have a couple offers out there, but unfortunately they found somewhere else to reside prior. We are still feverishly, I've been bothering them almost on a weekly basis. Where's the money for the vacancy initiative? So we can get going on those 4 family units. So hopefully I'll hear something back. I did throw out there, hey, I'm leaving April 18th. Let me get this going. So I am really shaking the tree on that. And
You're gonna be a big pain in the neck, but I think that's it.
oh, I am. I've been
Important to-
shaking. They need to
do.
know that they need,
The refrain, I'm leaving April 18th, is going to be etched in their ears, I think.
well, they need to know that
Yeah.
they need to help me sooner
Yeah.
than later here, so
Right.
I can at least
I
be
appreciate
somewhere.
it. Yeah.
But, and then Rick, is unfortunately out indefinitely. Because according, his workers' comp is indicating that he needs another surgery. Not workers' comp, sorry, his physician, but workers' comp is trying to decide whether or not they're going to cover it. So, and they told me that could take up to 3 weeks last week. So I have another 2 weeks of waiting to see, and then waiting for scheduling, and then waiting for healing. I mean, it could be, unfortunately,
Yeah,
a
it could
couple
be a long-
months,
could be
which probably will lead into part of the other conversation that's gonna come up later. But, we'll wait for that part.
I'm sorry,
I,
has he made it publicly known what his ailment is?
has he made it publicly known? I mean,
I mean, or
he's told lots of people what's wrong with him, yes. Yeah, he's told lots of people,
I
the
even know.
residents,
I'm
everyone.
asking-
I mean, he's
I'm
told everyone, so it's not what I know, I didn't say what his actual
I don't need
issue
to talk
was.
about it publicly.
No, no,
Exactly, that's
No,
that's
no,
the challenge of
no,
that, Phil, so.
Trying to be sympathetic, I didn't do it the right way.
no. So I'm just letting you know that, unfortunately, we're down staff, we're doing what we can. While we're waiting for that money for that vacancy initiative, I have, we are utilizing time to do a little extra work around here. As you can see, I've got Kat doing a wonderful job out there painting right now. I'm gonna, freshen it up. She refinished these tables in a matter of a couple hours the other day, so they look nice. Hopefully, yeah, and hopefully we'll have, if we have the time, allows, she'll get to the other pieces of furniture in here, and we'll hopefully, if money comes available, we can refinish the cushions, freshen it up, do what we can, and if next year you guys get money or the year after, maybe put in some flooring. But I mean, that's pretty much what we got going on right now. I did get awarded that safety grant that I told you
Right.
for all the agencies.
Right,
The first one that I confirmed, the training is gonna be on March 27th. And that one's for the CPR, and that's on the AED, and the FA, all that first aid and all that. There's a very good probability if the board wants to attend some training, I have availability for you guys to come if you want, to the training with the staff. Okay?
great.
And I think that's, oh, Karen, has her letters in here with the update. So we've been very busy helping the residents with different resident services, so that's very positive, going very well. Also,
Could we get copies of
it
that?
should be in your packet.
I didn't.
I'm almost positive I had it in there after after the financials. But anyways, also, we are working on that $30 connectivity issue that you had mentioned last month, Bill. In fact, Karen actually just put up a letter that's gonna be going to Elizabeth Warren, and we just sent it out to the residents this week, encouraging them to, jump on the bandwagon to hopefully see if something can be done. And another thing is, a very positive thing is they just increased our award for the fire alarm panel upgrade. Mind you, it was around $90,000, now up to $274,000. So they're gonna be doing a major upgrade on the fire alarm panel, not only at Dewey, but also here. So, that's really big. They seem to be throwing money right now, so I keep asking. And so hopefully we'll get that 70,000 that Sue's hoping and wishing on.
Yeah,
With
that's
me.
really good.
But one other thing did come to light the other day, and we sent this out yesterday. I just want to throw it out there. Somebody, I do have a reward out there right now. Somebody broke a window at one of my family units that happens to be empty right now. And if anybody can give me information, I would greatly appreciate it, and they will be rewarded.
It's the first time that's happened.
It's very rare,
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't want,
damage
I
like
don't
that
want to,
is-
yeah, I don't want this, this could start something, and I don't want
No,
it to start
no,
something.
that's absolutely, no, that's right. Eileen, do you have questions?
No.
I don't think I saw it either.
In that case, could you send it again?
Just.
I don't
this
have
yet. I didn't see them.
You can have them, take them, you guys can have them. I thought they were in the packet, I apologize if they weren't.
Yes. Well, before we go, I did have one question, while we were talking about, Rich Fair being out indefinitely, so. It has been all workers' comp that has carried him through this. Yeah, in other words, has the housing authority, been obligated to give him anything while he's missing all this time? Or is his claim solely through workers' comp? Cause they pay lost wages, I think.
They do, but somehow it comes back, and that would have been a good question for me to ask Sue, and I'll
Mm.
follow up with Sue about that.
I was under I was under the impression that we do have to
Yeah.
pay that back at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I'm almost positive it goes back in.
At
Yeah.
some. I don't know
Yeah,
how
okay.
it works, but
And so right now, then, at this point, there's money sort of unspent in maintenance because he's been out so long. Is that true?
No, not really. It'll end up balancing out
Well, they still have
because
to-
he's still getting paid by the week.
you still have to pay. them,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just, okay, I'm gonna have to find somebody to explain workers' comp and such to me. Because he's getting paid by us, by the workers' comp, but that's okay. Why, however, on the warrant, why was he sent $35 to use his cell phone?
Why? Because he's still employed here. We were hoping that he was coming back this month. And he is being called and contacted on a daily basis, just about. Tim talks to him and follows up with him all the time on different things going on the sites. He is my maintenance supervisor.
Yep.
The goal is for him to come back.
And for legal, is there any? Has the court decision been received yet? The agreement, we were supposed to get the agreement.
It
Wait,
hasn't been
you wanna tell-
finalized. I'm still waiting from DHCD. In fact, the attorney was trying to rattle them again, because they're the ones that have to process the payment to me for me to release the payment. So that's where we stand. So nothing has been finalized. Once it's finalized, I will give you a copy. I don't have anything to give you.
And we don't know where that payment is going to come from.
It's coming from DHCD, Risk Management. but
But our share.
It's gonna come out of our operating account. I already told you that.
But we don't know where in the operating account.
I mean, we approved that on a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
But
but we don't have that.
But I'm
those-
still concerned about where it's going to come from.
It'll probably hit the legal line.
Mhm.
That would
We
be
don't
my,
I would presume that's
Yeah,
what it's gonna be.
yeah.
We don't have a legal line. Or are you anticipating that we don't have to pay it until the 2025 fiscal budget starts in April?
I anticipate that it needs to be paid ASAP, but I'm waiting for the money so I can issue a check.
We do have a legal line.
Yeah, I
It's
know we
just,
do,
you know,
but the
It's
last I
overspent
knew,
already.
We had already overspent that.
Right.
And we don't know where the rest of the legal funds are coming from, but it's still being paid. And I was told not to worry about it. I worried. Are there any more legal claims?
No.
Grievances?
Other than what's going on currently.
Just what I have,
Right.
most of which are non-payment.
Okay. No more lawsuits.
No,
Okay. Any grievances?
not that I'm aware of.
And I have another question. Oh, that's an answer. Okay.
We good? All right. Wait a minute, because I'm lapped over in my, okay. Yeah, citizens speak. Anything for anybody?
What was that?
Citizens will be speaking for a moment.
I would like to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I've been here 20 years. And I have not done any kind of complaining. The last couple of times I have said so. I'm very nervous about this because I'm not used to speaking up in a crowd like this. Well, we got a letter telling us that the elevator was gonna be down Monday. And the letter made it sound like it could be all day. I got a thing on my email saying that my prescription was in my mailbox. I am 85 years old. I have all kinds of trouble with my legs, my back, going up and down the stairs. But I did go down the stairs. And thank God it wasn't wooden rails. I don't know if anybody on the, what Tim's on, anyway, have gone in and walked down those stairs and put their hands on those rails. It's worse than the rail upstairs.
Hmm.
Okay, I went out this way and automatically went over and pushed the button on the elevator.
Yeah.
And of course, the door opened. I can't go on there. I got looked at it one time for 45 minutes. So, I mean, there was no way I was going to go out. I called the office. Madonna answered. And I don't think she was very nice to me. She kept saying, I don't know anything about Otis. I don't know anything about Otis. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. 299. I said, well, are they coming today or maybe not today, tomorrow? I said, my cleaning girl is coming. And I said, she does my grocery shopping for me when she comes. I said, I usually do a very big grocery shopping. I said, is she gonna have to carry a piece by piece? You know, I'll cut back on how much I need. So anyway, Tim was upstairs the next day. I'm sorry, Tim, but it really has upset me. And I mentioned it to him. And he told me that he was in the office at that time. And that Madonna told me that it was fixed. It was not fixed. If it was fixed that day sometime, shouldn't she have called me? I called the office purposely to ask a question. If it got fixed, she could have. Because
you
I
ask her
notified
to?
her.
Did you
Did you
call,
ask her
did
to?
you call and talk to me about this?
You weren't here.
Did you call and see me yesterday? Did you call and talk to me today?
No.
No. You should have came and you haven't even bothered to come and talk to me. And here you
Listen,
are mentioning in the middle of
I've
citizens
never
speak.
had a
hon.
problem with you. You've been very good.
I know, but you should have come and talked to me. We wouldn't have
Well,
to be having this discussion
my
right here,
thing
right
is-
now.
My thing is, every time that a citizen speaks, I never have heard anything afterwards that you got together, you did something about it. What good is a citizen speak? I mean, I'm not saying this because I want to be rude or anything else. I want to be treated. I'm 87 years old. I know I don't have much longer left, but I would like it to be fairly good 3-4 years. So what I'm trying to say is that if one is working in the office and for some unknown reason she dislikes or has something against a person, she's got to be able, if she's going to hold that position, to treat that person, say that she treat her and her and her. No matter what she thinks of me. I don't care what she thinks of me.
I agree with you. But I think that if you encounter that situation, you really have to go to Tina first. If she's not there that day, and go there, but the next day and talk to her about it. Because I think we could have taken care of that. And I think that's all we really need to say about it. I'm sorry, and I hope that the elevator gets fixed, but the elevator never seems.
Well, the elevator evidently is fixed. He said it was fixed. He said to me, well, all of the papers were down. I said, well, what the hell was I supposed to do? Go out every 15 minutes and check to see if the papers are down? No, why should I? I feel that I should have gotten a telephone call saying it was fixed.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Anything else?
No.
Well, you're not the only one. Anyone else? All right.
No one else wants citizen speak.
No, we're moving on then. New business, next regular meeting. A month from today, 3 weeks from today, what's your pleasure?
So, I missed a meeting, but are we, right now, we voted to have a meeting every Friday until further notice.
Well, no, but those are different.
Okay, so first we do the.
And so let's set our monthly meeting and then we can discuss whether we need to continue doing that for now. I have a whole set of updates on that.
4 weeks, that's the end of the fiscal year also, and whatever. 4
Okay,
weeks.
all right.
That's my opinion.
Good for me.
What's that day? There's a Wednesday on the 20th and there's a Wednesday, the 27th.
27th.
That's the last Wednesday of the month.
All right. Good,
What day?
27?
When,
Wednesday, the 27th of
So-
March.
do
I have a training that day scheduled. Remember, I just invited you guys to it.
Okay,
Do Thursday.
23rd then. Let's see if we can do
We
that.
could do, what about the 20th, the week before? We can't do that?
Right, yeah, okay, well,
No,
we'll
I
do
mean-
that then.
No, for me, is it? Well, like,
I mean, do you guys need to have a meeting before I roll out the door? I mean, do you guys want to meet with me? I mean,
Yeah,
of course wanna
or
meet
do
with
you
you.
just want to meet with me?
No,
I mean, I
we
don't,
want to meet with you, but
I mean,
at
that's up
least,
to you. I
at
mean,
least,
I mean,
let's,
not that I want to have extra board meetings, but you know what I mean. I don't
Right.
know if you want to wrap up of some sort
right,
or.
no, we're good for now.
Better to wait to let HLC respond on the budget request?
Well, I hope they'll be responded by 3 weeks from now. Yeah, I mean, I would hope.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would hope on that. So let's,
It won't happen. I have a feeling.
okay,
So
well,
I-
let's,
I make a motion that our next regular meeting be on March 20th at 1 AM and.
At 1 a.m.?
Are
we having a party?
Yeah, and can we meet, do we ready for us that community room, will the work be done, or do we want to meet here?
Will I have anything in there for you to sit on?
You're
Question.
not sure.
I'm gonna try.
let's
Bring
give,
volunteers.
let's give it one more month. Let's give it one more
Okay,
month
So
and then we'll,
The 20th at
there's-
1 right here.
20th at 1 here. That's my motion.
I second.
yeah, second,
If it's ready, I will let you know and we can always change the location, but if it's ready. it'd be nice to have you
okay, so any citizens speak on this? No? Then Phil?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
aye, and aye. So we are unanimous.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the weekly executive director replacement things go, I have a couple of updates. I would like to read them off at this point because I'm just, just for your edification, the process is more than arduous.
Yeah.
Again, it takes about 45 minutes or so for every entry, including signing up for a new package and then
You're talking about placing the ad.
placing the ads. Exactly. So I've done probably 13 of them or so, but there's dozens more to do. So if anybody wants to jump in, we'll jump in. And otherwise,
Don't you think that's enough?
no, I don't, because it's, I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think, I think that our odds of getting somebody off of the broader sites are not great, and in fact fairly minimal. But I think we still have to be on it. You know?
That's not true. We had someone from California the last time. That
But
could be
didn't-
here in 3 weeks.
But
There you
didn't we
go.
vote as a board to do everything free?
Yeah.
We were doing everything and we're moving ahead, but it's just gonna take a little bit longer than like hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have most of them done.
Would you send us a list of where they are? And.
No, I'll read you the list now if you want.
I like to have things that I can save.
Do we need that now? Now?
Where,
John,
John, who are they sending it to? Their applications or resumes? Who are they sending it to? You?
Oh, yes,
That's in
Yes.
the,
By email
yes,
the email.
or to the office.
That's what I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh?
But did you change to April 1st?
no, not yet.
But you will.
I will,
Okay.
I will,
And the
but it
number,
takes going back into every single effing thing and going back into it and finding it and then delving into it, so I didn't have time to do it this morning. I will, it's there.
and that number of units has to be changed,
You know, the number of units doesn't have to be.
because it adds up to 4. The breakdown shows 4 more units than the total gives, which is going to, I would think, make somebody wonder.
If
Yeah, is it
it's the number that was approved by Carolina. And it was because there's 4 units with 8 units in them or something like that. I don't know.
The educational services has the house with 4 units, and that had been given as 8 units in the previous ad. Which is why the total number is 4 units more than we actually have it.
I am going with the approved version of the thing. That's simple as that.
It makes us look a little silly.
Right.
But what-
It doesn't, it's the approved version of what we got.
And what would even be the timeline?
And we
to get
said,
approval?
we said, actually, Eileen, that there was 8 units. And she said, no, she said it's 4. So we're going with what we got. It's as simple as that.
I really, if I didn't have an ad, I would really like the math to be accurate.
I don't
Whether it was-
know what the
here's the thing.
accuracy is, but it's accurate by application to EOHLC.
Or you make a motion.
I really would like that in the ad to be accurate, so it doesn't look as though we're a careless agency.
Um,
One of the numbers has to be changed.
But
Well,
if
it
we-
sounds like to make that fix, we'd have to basically have to put the whole process on hold.
You'll have to do those all over
I don't
again.
see why.
And also,
Why
given the
can't-
way it's been described or approved, maybe they would kick that back again.
anyway, right. So, yeah. And I don't think anybody's gonna really care about it yet. So,
Eileen,
we're not moving forward with it.
you wanna make a motion, we'll vote on it. If not, then we'll move forward.
We'll
All
move
right,
forward,
I
right.
make a motion that we ensure that the ad is correct. That all the numbers are equal, up to what they should be
Any
in our
second?
first paragraph.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
I should
None?
think it would take a call to Carolina and that either the number of units gets changed or the total number of units gets changed.
So we'll call the vote.
No.
No,
Yes.
No.
So there we go. Now, the other thing is that we are being cajoled into an agreement with Stockbridge rather than hire a new executive director,
Who's cajoling?
EOHLC.
I asked about that at the first meeting. And you said,
That we'd probably look into it.
no, you said that you had talked to,
I thought they said no.
and they weren't interested.
In Stockbridge.
Stockbridge may not
Well,
be.
now they're interested.
Stockbridge.
Now they're interested.
Well,
Now
they-
Stockbridge is interested?
Yes.
Well, it's probably more that they've been told to be interested. in
That
it.
they.
They are, I was told originally that Stockbridge wasn't interested, but we were still gonna go and pursue that. As far as, it was a different, you're confusing the 2 different things. There was very good. We
So just
are
again, just review what
pursuing a
you-
management agreement.
So you were, for my sake, and just review
Right.
what you were told from up on high.
And why weren't we told this earlier?
because
Oh,
it happened like this morning
Okay.
or yesterday afternoon or so. And I'm just waiting for my email.
You're still gonna take Apple.
We could not, if you want. I mean, I think we could do whatever we wanted to do.
Okay, just my opinion,
So,
while I'm always
so,
waiting for his email, my opinion, again, there's a difference between DHCD telling Stockbridge they should be interested and telling us we should be interested versus Stockbridge actually consenting to do that.
All right.
For
That's a
sure.
lot to take on.
Well, because when John approached whomever in Stockbridge, the answer was, no, not
Right, yeah,
interested.
why would they want it? Why would they want
Right.
it?
Not interested.
Well, I have 3 emails now. It's a management agreement, but my email. Here we go. So I contacted Andrea Lindsay, Executive Director at Stockbridge, about a potential management agreement with GPHA. Andrea mentioned she requires a confirmation of GBHA's interest before proposing the idea to the SHA board. Please let me know if it will be, please let me know if GHBA will be interested in a management agreement with SHA. Additionally, Andrea suggested stepping in if Tina leaves without a replacement. Yeah, as an interim type thing. So type thing. Then she said, and I quote, suggest a management agreement, but wanted to get our ads placed first. So I planned to look into it today or tomorrow. Great timing. I will raise it at our meeting. Thank you. And she said, thank you, John. Can you please let me know if the AD has been, if the ad has been placed? If not, you could include GBHA's interest in it. And I said, and I quote, well, and then it said, some have, some haven't, have yet to be. I think for now we will pursue a new hire while simultaneously looking at Stockbridge.
Said that or she said that?
I said that. And then she said, would you be discussing the management agreement with the board of directors tomorrow? And I
Yeah,
said,
of course.
yes.
Okay, so again, I'm just.
And then I wrote back again and said, what is the, then I talked to Mark Kruhensky and figured out what the ramifications are for our board if we pursue the management, in which case the board would still exist, supposedly, unless you come up with another.
Right, so again, what the DHCD is saying is pursue this as an interim step. Is that clear?
No.
No, it's
vote.
it's both.
But
It's both.
But if the role of a board is to oversee an executive director, doesn't Stockbridge have its own board also?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, which would serve 2 masters, which would be hideous, but you know.
You just want, you're worried you're gonna lose this high paying job.
I am. You know what? I thought I'd get my own parking spot. I don't even have.
You don't
any
have a job.
parking spot.
Neither do we.
Neither do we.
Well, again, jokes not, sorry for the joke, but again, I think it's a perfectly rational proposal that DHCD is making.
The management agreements are common.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I hear, so it makes perfect sense to pursue it. I would say we should pursue it, but I could come up with a long list of reasons why it would why it would not end up working out for whatever reason. So we
But
should
we-
pursue this as well as pursuing, a straight
Okay,
on
so,
hire.
so as I said, simultaneously pursuing both outlets.
I mean, I think the best thing, if you ask me personally, would be to try and get someone that's qualified to sit in this seat. Because we already have 3 different sites and one's already all the way out in Sheffield, which is
Exactly.
already hard enough
Exactly.
to assist as it is.
Exactly.
And then,
They're making it complicated.
but if you can't
To me.
get anyone decent, in the interim,
Insurance,
she would be, I think she would be wonderful.
yes.
To
so do
help-
I.
to
As an
help.
interim
Yes, to
until we
help
find
out.
someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's very reassuring. That she's available, listening to.
breaking it out into pieces, did you say early on that our next step would be to draft a letter and say we are interested in talking about?
I didn't say that, but I think that's the next step,
I
yeah.
think they would, before whomever's letter you read would take it to her board, she
Yes.
wanted to know
Some
from
assurance that
us
we would,
collectively that
we
in fact
would,
have an interest.
we would like to investigate. Is what I would, I think at this point I would go through, Carolina and, say, yes, we are interested, please, even though I have talked to Andrea, I think that's an interim step.
You should do the LTO also, because
Yeah, the LTO should be-
residents should have a lot to say about it.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
I would characterize it as exploratory discussion.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Because we all have our own opinions on whether or not we'll be able to find someone or not to replace Tina.
Yeah.
So
let's
I
this,
think
wait and
if
this
see.
is helping us plan for a scenario where we don't have any good candidates.
Right,
So if we can agree to draft a letter that the board signs on to, that will at least keep a door open to maybe long-term, to maybe interim. It begins, doesn't mean we can't say no at any point. Or we found someone we think is good, we're committing to anything, we're just saying, we're interested in exploring this if you are.
How long
can
are
I
we
just
gonna keep
tell,
it
Carolina that we can do
there? We're gonna
it?
stop looking April
Move it
first
from
and
there?
say, oh, they're gonna take over. No, you can't do it. We
No,
gotta
I
keep
don't think
looking.
so, I think
I
that's
don't,
right.
I do. Long term for me is absolutely not. Interim, absolutely. If
Yeah.
need be.
But
Well,
so. we
That's
can't-
only me.
I don't know that we need to
I don't
specify
know
that
that we
now.
need to.
No, we don't.
Just say we are looking for
Mhm.
solutions, we're looking for someone long-term, we might be looking for short-term. Let's think about this together.
Sure.
Only because it gives us another possible
Right.
option, doesn't, we're not voting on building in that direction, but
I
if I
understand.
close
that.
the door,
I'm not
it's
closing
open.
the door.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm making a motion.
I'm making a motion
I'll
that
second.
John, that John, draft a letter to let the Stockbridge Housing Authority know that, after conversation today, we are tentatively interested in, some sort of arrangement,
Yeah.
talking about some sort of arrangement.
I think, I 99.9% of what you said, I completely agree with. I would, I just wouldn't use the word tentatively in the letter. I would just say that the board is interested, the board agrees to have exploratory conversations with you about the shared arrangement.
With a copy to the director and to an address to the board chairman.
I don't know. That part I don't know.
So it goes to the.
So the whole idea of just telling Carolina and pursuing along that road is moved at this point.
No,
No.
no.
Because you want to write a letter to the editor and include all of the,
But, so, I don't even know what I motioned, did you make the motion?
I'll try it, because again, I thought you did a great job of it, other than the one word that I didn't like, tentatively
Tentatively.
word. But I'm gonna echo Maureen's suggestion that we respond to the Stockbridge Housing Authority and say that the board has agreed
to explore our
to-
options.
To explore, have exploratory discussion with you about a shared executive director arrangement between the two housing authorities.
Perfect.
Well, could we put it as a question?
I don't think
Would
we
you be
can.
interested? Because we don't know if the board chairman knows.
We don't know what the board
We
chairman
are
of the
interested.
Stockbridge Housing Authority knows?
No, Phil, I didn't say that at all.
Yeah.
We are interested in exploring
Yeah.
It's slightly different.
All right. That's fine too. I just wanted this, my only wordsmithing proposal to what Maureen said is we should say that the board, the Great Barrington Housing Authority Board has decided this. And get back to them on that as opposed to the tentatively.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
So we respond by saying that our board has agreed to have exploratory discussion.
Yes.
And that letter that gets drafted goes to who gets that letter?
Your motion.
Oh, it's Phil's motion at this point.
But I just want to call up the lady and say, please, let's look into that.
I would send
It's
it
not
back.
that hard.
What do you say? Yeah, I don't think we need to go into that sort of logistics. We're agreeing we can do it, and you're gonna make it
Just gonna
happen.
make it happen.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep, just do it. Second,
all right.
Could I suggest that maybe you send a draft?
No. 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 That's what I was trying to avoid. I mean, exactly what I was trying to avoid.
Okay.
And I will say, thank you. It's a great idea. Let's pursue it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
It's
gonna
not a
say.
big-
It's not a draft. It's not a thing. It's not a,
We have to make sure that it doesn't sound as though we want this to happen. We don't know that we want.
I think that I just said exactly what I'm going to say. If you want to make a motion to say something different, then make the motion.
I already seconded the motion.
And I'll say that I think that the exploratory discussions really is perfect phrase.
That's exactly right.
It's a perfect
That's
phrase.
exactly right. So,
so Phil's motion, my second.
aye. Aye,
Aye.
aye, aye. Okay. And aye. Okay. Maintenance policies and work situations. This is it has to be talked about. Basically, Tim is doing 2 jobs at once plus another half of one. And I think if there was some way we could compensate him, that would be great in some way, just a token of our appreciation of his esteem for now stepping in and doing the maintenance stuff, making the phone calls, doing all the stuff, being on call incessantly. As Giselle, 3 times, last night, 2 nights ago, 3 times between 1:30 and 4 a.m. There were calls that, did. So at any rate, I think, and Tina, to her infinite wisdom, said, there's not much we can do without a board vote. There's not a lot of money in the coffers, and that's the case. But I think that at a time when somebody is going above and beyond and really taking care of the people that live here and elsewhere, in the absence of other people to do it, deserves some sort of consideration. Open for discussion.
It's not the job that he signed on for.
Nope.
It's a much larger job.
Sure.
I certainly share your view and appreciate all your work. I just making the obvious point that in the earlier part of this meeting, we were basically told we don't have any money.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So
I know where you're going with this. What would you like to do for him?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think maybe when we get some money, compensate them, when you do that money.
I mean, I would think at some point, somewhere between $500 and $1,000 as a bonus for a job well done and deeply appreciated during our time of need would be appropriate.
But do we have the money at this point, Peter?
You have 500 to give them?
Well, there's money in the
There's
bank
money in the
account.
bank account. I mean, I don't know why you would ask that. I mean,
No.
I mean, yeah,
You're
there's
just
money in the
saying.
bank account, yeah. Are we in the negative reserve? I mean, you already know the answers to that.
Yeah. So,
Why don't we hold off until next month?
I don't think it can be hauled off until next, already been doing it over a month or two.
So what's the worst that could happen? Is basically, is it that the chair of our board would be for Missy's funds? Is that-
Well, I could deal with that.
So smart that.
I think the worst thing that could be happening is that Tim decides to find another job because he's not compensated as well here, but if we wanna dispose of it for now, we'll just-
It's time and a half, correct?
Well, yeah, he gets paid time and a half and for the call, but he doesn't get compensated for having to hold that phone 24/7. I don't understand. That's what I believe people should be compensated extra for. If you're on call for a whole week period, whether it's Tim or Rick when he comes back or whoever that works here, if you're holding that phone and you're not able to enjoy your life after hours, that means having a couple drinks, going out of state, doing whatever, you should be given a stipend for that, period. I think so, whether you go out or not. I mean,
Okay.
that I think would be,
Okay,
is
I'm gonna make a motion.
fair.
I don't know,
We're discussing.
I'll make a motion and we'll discuss.
Okay. Right.
I'll make a motion that we authorize a $500 appreciation payment to Tim for his hard work sitting in. I have no. Can I make any statement that that's the right amount? Or that's what he's due, or that's what he should be receiving, but given our limited financial resources at this time, that seems to be a moderate show of good faith. So I'm gonna make a motion for a $500 appreciation payment to Tim.
I will second that.
Discussion.
Oh, just to, confuse things.
You're good, man. You ought to run another
It's-
committee.
So that is not run like through payroll, right? It's a gift.
No, I think it'd have to be run through payroll. I think it would have.
I would have to double check that, because remember the whole gift thing over the $49 and da 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 da?
So
I
it
gotta
has to
make
be-
sure that I do it right too, and
Yeah.
I give him the money, even though you guys approve it.
No,
You know what I
agree,
mean?
agree.
So,
Yeah.
I just gotta be careful. I mean, I think that, compensating people with extra days off, I mean, things like that. I mean, that's easier for me to do, and I've done that before. But I really think you guys should take a look at the responsibility of being on call 24 hours a day. I think that's something that you should vote on. That if someone's on call, they should automatically get X amount, period, for holding that phone every week and being responsible.
Well, that's a separate motion.
Separate motion,
So
regarding Phil's
Let's give him
motion,
shall we vote on that?
but regarding Phil's motion, don't we want to say an additional paycheck?
Well, we don't know yet.
Well,
We don't know yet.
It needs to be done
We
in
will-
an appropriate way, and I prefer the executive. session.
She'll figure it out.
Okay.
So no more discussion?
So
Second?
ceasing discussion.
Second.
I mean,
I want
no.
to know what the motion is, because it's conditional, and that should be in the.
I don't think it's
It is,
conditional.
It's not.
I think it's
Or
just,
is
it's just, we're giving them $500.
But we don't know whether it's payroll or gift.
Right.
Tina's gonna find out.
We're gonna figure that out.
Okay, conditional, Valentine is determining whether it is a gift or payroll.
Or it can't be a gift, I think, right? But.
I think it's gonna have to come out of payroll, to
Has
be
to be
honest
done in a
with
way
you,
where
and
it's
it'll probably have to be taxed, which
Okay.
is crazy.
All right.
Well, in a couple of months, maybe we can give him a little more until we're.
Who knows? Who knows? And for now,
Right.
all in,
Yeah.
you,
Yes.
yes,
What about,
What about
oh,
what?
sorry, I'm sorry.
you,
Phil made the motion, I think I seconded, and now
Yes.
we're voting.
we're voting.
We're
Yes.
voting, yes, yes.
The conditional.
Yes.
Yeah, must be done
Yes.
the right way.
Can
Right.
next month we
Okay.
actually add that topic that I mentioned about the compensation with? being on call?
Absolutely, absolutely,
please put that on there.
absolutely. I
I
don't know how we'll do it, but I think that's, I was shocked when I found out that they weren't compensated
Yeah,
for any,
That's like the worst. I've been on call.
Yeah.
Plenty of time in a few times.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst feeling like you can't do something when
Right.
you 24/7.
well, you can't even have a beer.
No,
if
that's what I'm
if
saying,
want,
because you
right.
can't, you gotta get up and go behind the wheel. You can't really, you
Right.
gotta.
No,
I
you
mean,
can't. Right. Okay, new policy
We didn't
suggestions.
vote on
No.
We did,
No, we
We
did,
did.
and then we said
We
aye all the way
did.
around.
we did, we
Yeah.
voted. It's cool, man.
You said-
It's
no,
cool.
we didn't.
I don't recall voting, but I guess we voted.
You nodded,
The Zoom
you
recording-
nodded amiably.
All right, great.
I presumed it
job.
was I presumed it was a vote. Now, Eileen's minutes suggestions,
Policy.
policy suggestions, sorry.
I gave you the policies. I don't expect you to act on it now, but I would like it on the agenda next meeting.
Okay. Is that it? Okay. And minutes responsibilities, you're doing minutes.
We're doing minutes.
You're the only one to submit minutes,
You're doing a great job.
and you're not, there's no submissions from anywhere else. Old business, plastic sheeting, we're waiting for a nice day someday when it gets a little nicer. And we'll put up the plastic sheeting. I was delivered a lot of plastic.
Great.
Custom cut and everything, so,
Nice. The holes pre-drilled or not?
no, so we're gonna have to do that. Yeah. So the first nice day we'll set to that.
Let me know.
All right, cool,
Enough time.
okay.
Yeah, we already-
And then a hiring update, I think we've done that.
But
out of-
so, we never did get back to that, will we continue to meet once a week thing? right?
Oh, okay, yes. All right, so I think that there's enough coming up now for me to at least say that, just a second, for me to at least say we've placed ads in all of these places, and here's what we're doing now. We can do that in 2 weeks, we can do it in 1 week, I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
March 8th is a Friday and it's the LTO week at 1:00.
Okay,
on the 8th. Oh,
So it's been
okay,
okay,
thank you.
2 weeks.
No, thank you. Do you want to, is there any reason at all for anybody to do that next week?
if something comes up in between now and our next meeting, you can call a special meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
There's
Nothing's gonna come up.
there's an
except-
excellent idea.
March 15th.
I think we
No, I don't think we
said,
said anything, yeah.
Our next meeting is March 20th at
No.
1:00.
And,
No, we're talking about
The,
yeah, did we set, I mean, if
That'd
we
be my
want to
last
set
one.
something, we can, if we don't have to.
Tentatively, we don't need to post an agenda.
Okay.
yet. Okay.
That seems reasonable.
So then at this point, I move that we discontinue the regular meetings on Fridays.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
I don't think
Discussion?
I don't think we need to vote.
no, I think, yeah,
And
Then we'll approve it.
LTO report.
Yes, the LTO report is next. And we are not
It's not here.
having an LTO report. She okay? Ish? Okay.
Ish.
Okay, no, fine, that's, I don't want anything more than that. Okay, we have minutes. We are approving the meetings of 11/29, 12/13, 1/24, 2/2, 2/9, and 2/18.
so last board meeting, when we approved 3 sets of minutes, it took us 10 full minutes to do 3 sets. Which is why I encourage people to send anything. I mean, let's just dive in. If anyone needs copies of the order,
Oh, the minutes.
then
Oh,
it's,
yes.
so we begin with November 29th, yes?
Oh, dear Lord. Are we really gonna do every minute?
It's six.
Can we just blanket approve them?
Can I get a bunch of them?
Yeah, just
can
no,
have
so
one.
wait, the state, that's not it. If they're clipped together, they're all for the same meeting, and I mean,
Oh.
five,
Oh.
five,
Okay.
you know, there's not, I figured that.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve as presented by Stacy.
I second the motion.
Discussion?
Anyone discuss,
Jackie?
I'm all set with the minutes.
All right, then, approving Jackie for the 29th.
Yes.
Yes, Phil,
Yes.
Eileen,
Yes,
Maureen,
yes.
and me.
Approved.
Good.
okay, December 13th.
Hold on, November 29th. Just look at the date on whatever you're getting, because I have a feeling it's.
Well, no, the 29th is,
But just, these things are being passed out, and I think you're all getting different things. So we just approved the 29th,
all right,
right?
What month again, I'm sorry?
Okay,
November 29, and this is, you know, there were two sets of minutes in 2023. We're about to do the other set that had not yet been approved, right? Leave that last set with the two paper clips together for now. So now we are on to the December 13th meeting. We've already approved the December 13th regular meeting, but we had two meetings that day. One was about the presentation of
yeah,
the plan, so that's the one we're looking at today.
okay. I have a public question there and a change on the December 13th, which is in the second paragraph. That starts Executive Director Danzy. I just wondered if we could add attribution that Tina said, not much wiggle room for spending. Da, 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 da. Just for clarification.
What's that?
Where? I don't see
Where?
it is. What?
Right here.
Oh, so just
At
add
the
in,
end of the last paragraph.
yeah, she explained that, and then just say Tina,
Just
it's,
strictly for
that's,
clarification.
yeah, okay, I can do
And
that.
on the back side of the motion to approve the annual plan came in the next meeting.
But she got something else.
So.
right, Right,
So that paragraph removed.
right. The motion
Oh,
to,
yeah,
the motion was in the second.
Yeah.
so,
So I moved that with those changes, we approve those.
second,
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none. Phil,
Aye.
I, Eileen,
Aye.
and Maureen.
aye,
All right.
I move the
Uh,
motion that we approve the February 1st minutes.
we have to do January 24th before that.
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. And if there's extensive corrections, then let's take it offline and just kill it for now.
This, like today, was an hour and a 40-minute meeting, there's quite a lot there
Yeah,
to say,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I presume
So
so.
if we do wanna get, you know, we could put that one on hold.
We could put that on hold unless Eileen has anything
I have two changes that are really minor. And probably nobody will agree with them. But. Well, yeah. Actually, forget it.
move to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
Discussion? Jackie,
Aye.
Eileen,
Okay.
Maureen,
Aye,
Phil,
Aye.
and I vote aye too. 2-2,
2-1, February 1.
2-1, well, right.
Approve this written.
Second.
Second? Comments, right? No, Phil?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
me. And 2-9?
Marlene's last name should be spelled correctly.
Yeah.
Kollo,
SKI.
Kolloski.
K-L-O.
Oh, no W.
K-O.
L-O.
K-O-L.
Oh,
Oh.
Is this the first,
SKI.
is this the first time that's ever happened?
No, I did not. That's because my mother.
So,
Just when you think they,
Okay, page 2. Near the bottom, the paragraph starts, I need him offered. And the last sentence of that paragraph says, in the absence of a working board of directors, it's just working director at the time for the interim.
Absence of a, what was that?
Board of should be taken out. There was, I think, a working board of directors, but the interim was sent because there was no director.
Oh, yeah, so there,
Follow?
yes,
Okay.
and I'll take that out, but it was,
Okay.
I think that if I'm right, the state sent us the interim because we didn't have a board
But
that could do the hire at that time. Am I correct about
I don't
that?
think so.
Yeah, well, I'll strike it anyway.
Okay.
So in that,
We
so,
needed a director and he came in as the director regardless of the reason.
yeah, got it. Yep.
And then with that change, I move that we approve.
second, comments? Maureen,
Aye.
Eileen,
Hi.
Jackie,
aye.
Phil,
Aye.
and me. Aye. And finally, 216.
So, here's the thing, somebody had one with arrows on it.
Yeah, well, there was, oh,
Just let's take a look at those, because there was some,
this.
yeah, take those, especially the board, to look at, like, that one we need to discuss.
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have that one either.
No, you sent changes to me. Arrows,
I'll take one.
just for fun.
Yeah.
You need,
Oh, this is in there?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
copies.
not reading it.
so if you look at the second page, everybody on the board, I sent out 6 sets of minutes. And Eileen pretty much right away got back to me with changes, which I put in a box right there. And I made those changes right away and I sent it back, done, I said, right? But then Eileen said, someone needs to clarify whether posted draft minutes can be amended without a board vote. So
Well,
what I wanna know is, can I make those changes in between meetings? And the reason I asked to do that is because it's better than spending 10 or 20 minutes at a meeting. If we can do some of that in between.
No,
We don't, it would be my contention that we don't need to approve minutes until they're approved. So
But what about
approving
changes
draft
to the
minutes, approving draft minutes happens before, happens in the context of, in the interim. So we never vote on draft minutes.
So,
They don't have a vote. So why would we need to vote to amend them?
I think there's been a misunderstanding. The draft minutes as posted then get reviewed by the board members, anybody else. What I was saying is that based on what other boards do, changes would be sent to you so that changes are sent to the recording secretary so that she can keep a list. The list is provided to the members. Either the person making the change sends each change to the members. Perfectly all right under the open meeting law. But when the members come to a meeting, if they have seen the changes already, then they simply vote to approve minutes. But they have seen the changes. If the recording secretary makes the changes and the minutes don't know, and the members of the board don't know about it, that's not appropriate.
So then I would have to.
Do we post draft minutes anymore?
Well, we do, we do.
We're supposed to.
No, we do.
Required to, right now.
Within 10 days or something.
No, you have, I think it's 30 days. I think it's
No, I
longer.
thought the draft.
The draft, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. The
I-
draft
I-
gets posted. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what I
Yeah.
would like, what I would like to do is get my minutes out as quickly as I can, which I've been trying to do. I want to get caught up on it.
Right, so, right.
And maybe I will send it out to everybody and say, in your proofreading, because, you know, I don't think we need to approve a change from local new
Right.
source, local news source. Why
My
do we need to
understanding-
approve that?
Well, it does, a news source is something that hasn't been suggested before, but a news is a news medium.
So we need to vote on? Okay, help me, somebody help me.
If,
You're on your own.
Well, I know what I think the answer is. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah. But
If
I
we-
think what I'm proposing is that I do these as quickly as I can. I send them out and I say, hey, board members, I think I got a draft, but if you see anything in there, let me alter it before I send you all what's the final draft and before I post it on the board on town.
Matt, so,
Some
so,
of this ahead of time.
so what I'm saying is, if it all happens within a week and you send out minutes and you get response, why does there have to be draft minutes posted before the minutes are posted? Just finish them up and post them. Right?
Post the draft or the
No,
final?
the minutes, the minutes.
They need, yeah.
that's
I'm
required.
fine.
All right.
It's an approval.
But if we all send our corrections
To me.
so that you make them, and when we send the corrections, we send them to all members, so that when the members come to look at the minutes, they know what the changes proposed
Okay,
are.
so then
It should take about 2 minutes
But
at
so-
a meeting.
had your changes been sent to all of us?
I don't remember.
No, they weren't. You sent them to me.
Okay,
But if that email went to everybody,
then everybody would know what I was suggesting.
and so could I put them in there?
You wouldn't alter the draft minutes.
I'm just want, does
You
anyone
would
see my,
alter-
I wanna
yes.
say time at a meeting,
Can
help
I- can I
me.
say something? First of all, you've done great work.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. You deserve the sainthood medal of the day. So, my first comment. The second is that if you would consider using the black lining system, to me, that would be by far the most efficient way to do all this.
Yeah.
And ideally, it would make your life easier and would make our lives easier once everyone sort of got familiar with how that looks.
Right, so something like this.
Right, so you don't have to do the arts work that you did here, it would you would just have the black line. So I would propose that you would continue doing what you're doing, which is expeditiously post your draft minutes. And then when we get to the board meeting, you would show us a black line of the draft of the initial minutes. So that basically the initial draft you posted.
Yeah.
And then adding any other changes that you made in the
Which have been,
that were proposed by the board or that you subsequently realize should be changed based on, nightmares or whatever. Yeah. So did that suggestion make any sense?
it did, I mean, I have a, well, yes, it did, and that's helpful. You know, like today, I mean, so here's what I did wrong today. Everybody didn't get this ahead of time. Like I'm throwing it out there. I made the changes. No one knew about the changes. So now you all have to approve it without having read it before. So if I get it to the board a week before the meeting, we're good.
So I think to make it easier for you, you would initially post the draft minutes, perhaps email us that the draft minutes are up. And if you want to include it, that's your call, but they're up on the website for us to take a look at.
Yeah.
And then then at the next meeting, you would show up with a black line of any changes that were made in the.
Well, that could be sent out before the meeting and go into the packet.
Your call.
I know John wants to read it a good week ahead.
And put a deadline. You could have even an informal understanding that we have to do in that states. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. I
think you spent a lot of time doing this.
did because I wanted to illustrate.
I know,
My
I
dilemma.
understand the dilemma, I'm trying to get you out of this one.
Yes.
So I think I think your dilemma should be covered when you show up at the meeting with the black line. You really
Yeah.
disclosed it clearly,
Yeah.
what those changes.
I draft,
We need a motion on this or no?
I post, I invite people to look and send me anything.
Right,
And then I come to the meeting. If there are changes, I'll get people back or if they want to see it.
Do we need a motion or not?
To approve them?
Get it.
Yes.
We approving we approving the,
Go ahead.
To approve with the changes.
what?
To approve, what is the motion?
What?
We're approving the Feb 16.
February 16th. Very good.
And no other motion?
Comments? No, not yet. Dear Lord.
Yes.
Phil,
Yes,
Eileen, Maureen, me, yes. Are we motioning as to whether we're going to amend the minutes of the amended minutes or not?
No.
No, you don't need another motion.
Oh,
Everything,
man.
all 6 sets of minutes have been reviewed.
And that couldn't be more excellent. Board comments? I haven't been arrested yet, by the way.
all right, we'll see about that.
Oh, I do have one more comment. I'm sorry. It'll be quick. I meant to say this before. Oh, I was busy last. So I would like to propose, and I'm happy to do it, that we do an exit interview with Tina before she goes. Because all healthy organizations want to hear from people who are moving on to someplace else.
That's
You know,
a good
what did
idea.
you like about us? What could we do better? What are your thoughts going forward? Right?
I'll second the motion.
I thought it was a matter of course.
So you will do it.
Well, anybody else who would do it.
I would do it.
I'm happy to do it. I just presumed we'd do it.
Yeah.
And I would presume that we would have anybody that wants to be involved in it.
I mean, okay, so then the process would go. Tina has an exit interview, a report is written for the board. Right, so that the
Mhm.
board is aware of
Mhm.
any ideas that have been suggested.
Mhm.
So you do it, but if you want somebody to write.
No, I want other people involved in it.
I wanna do it.
So then let's all
You
do it.
it.
Let's do it too. You wanna
Let her
do
do
it?
it. She wants to do it.
She wants to do it.
You're welcome.
I wanna do it too. So we'll both do it.
I
You-
think you're
Al-
talking about 2 different fluids. You want to write it.
I would do the whole thing.
I
I would
would, she
do the
wants to do the
interview
process,
and
I
write
want to do the process. I think anybody else should
Do
be involved in the process.
So you'll schedule and you'll post, because there might be a forum. And,
Do you want to be involved in the process or not?
sure,
Do you want to be involved in the process or not?
No.
Do you wanna sit in the room?
And
with
Phil,
Tina
do you want to be involved in the process?
Go ahead and respect.
and
All right,
interview
so
her?
then we will have a quorum, we will post it.
If we have.
And
a
it will be,
quorum
if
there,
we will have three of us, it's at least.
do an exit interview, like, so companies, someone's leaving. And so at the end of their employment, you know, you sit down in a room with them and you say, thank you very much. On your way out the door, is there anything you can tell us about what it was like to work for us? Do you have any suggestions for us? Did you leave because of us? You know, it's like you
Yeah.
just, it's like a last, right?
Okay, I think it's a great idea, but am I hearing right? That you're looking, you now have a forum and
know.
you're doing it in a public
No,
meeting?
in order to avoid a forum, I would back out.
Right, I don't think this should be a public meeting thing,
Okay,
so we should not have a forum.
all right, all right,
If
Very
we
good.
Should not have a forum,
all right,
1 or 2 board members, that's it.
fine.
Okay.
In my
That's
opinion.
fine. We'll figure that out from there
Is
then.
that a problem?
No, I think I really like your suggestion there for the legal aspect of it. about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
agreed.
that's fine.
I mean, if we want a meeting where Tina says we're all great and we have a public.
I don't think she'd say that anyway. And now, any other board comments?
Yeah, I think Zoom should be available to the public.
What should?
Zoom, the Zoom of the meetings.
Oh, I think, but we would have to if town hall does it, we'll do it.
Are you referring to the meetings that broadly or the exit interview?
I would,
I'm referring to like.
our Zoom meetings, Phil. I am of a mind, I send them to several people. I am of a mind that if anybody wants it, they can get it from me. I don't know how to make it available.
Yeah, you
otherwise.
have to call.
It has to be,
You have to call the CTSB and make them post it to the YouTube site.
No,
My
I think
idea-
it would be available on the town website, just as the written minutes are. I mean, if the
No,
entire town is gonna do that.
That's how it happens.
Yeah,
My understanding. Well,
Yeah, that's
okay,
the way it works.
anyway. The Zoom account is paid for with public money, so I think it should be available to anybody who
I
wants
agree.
it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying mechanically, and I went through this myself, so maybe it's changed or I've got it wrong, but just mechanically, the flow of it is that the stuff that's readily available, we can click into on the home screen of the website and it takes you to the town YouTube page. And basically CTSB is sort of the overseer of that.
Right.
YouTube
Okay.
page.
I will send it to them then also and make it.
And you gotta just call them. And walk them
Ava-
through.
I will call them first and then I'll make it a thing for them, ongoing.
Okay.
Well,
Take the motion.
No, you wanted one more thing.
yeah, I have one thing.
Oh,
Tina, you see this? The payroll detail thing? Could I need a copy for October, December, and January.
For some crazy reason, they stopped sending them in the packet. That's why I didn't have them. So I have to request.
I want, you, if you can do it. October, December, and January.
Okay.
And then next month, February.
Well, you'll get
wow.
January's.
Oh,
You'll get January's with January's.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second that.
And comment? Eileen,
Yes.
Jackie?
And I missed something.
Aye.
I didn't call on you yet. I just
Aye.
tried to see how far I could push that. Go ahead. And I say aye too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.